Hey, hi everyone. Thanks for joining in. This is probably going to be a very short webinar, perhaps the shortest webinar that you have attended, but it's going to be powerful. So, we are going to talk about a few document automations that might be useful for you. Just a quick introduction of myself. I am Siddharth Garg. I am the co-founder and CEO at Cloud Files. So we do a lot of document related stuff in Salesforce. We support a lot of different storages and a lot of different customers. These are some of our biggest customers here. To start off with the presentation and to set some expectations, first of all. So what to expect from the presentation? First of all, it's going to be about super document automation. I'm going to showcase one single automation which is going to cover the entire Cloud Files product. And what I would expect is for you guys to at least get some understanding, at least one useful automation that you can use out of this. And we are also going to talk a lot about customizations. So how you can customize that particular automation to your own process, given that Cloud Files is a product which is focused completely on enterprise. What not to expect from this presentation. So we are not going to be talking a lot of tech, and we are also not going to be talking a lot of implementation details. We are going to stick with some top level details of how customers are using the Cloud Files app. So without further ado, let me start with the demo itself. Now, for the demo, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and create a new lead object here. So let me just give a few details. And additionally, I'm going to go ahead and upload a few files over here. Let's upload these three. While these files are being uploaded, let me show you what I have uploaded. So I've uploaded a passport of Michael Scott. I have uploaded a driving license. And additionally, I've also uploaded a contract over here, a pretty standard contract with a few terms and conditions. Let's go back to our Salesforce and our files are uploaded. And that's pretty much it. Our demo is done. So whatever I needed to do for this demo has already been done by a few flows that I have set up in the background. What those flows did was, the first thing, a flow created a bunch of folders and subfolders for my record in my SharePoint. So you see these the main folder that's created over here and all of these subfolders, and these have been created in SharePoint itself. So not on Salesforce, not on anywhere else. And of course, like this automation, it works with other cloud storages as well. Additionally, what that automation did was, the files that I had uploaded in my Salesforce, it moved the files into the respective folders. So not only did it recognize what type of file it is, it classified the file, it then moved it into the subfolder, and it also renamed it. In fact, if you remember, these files, they have very, very random names. But through the automation, I was actually able to enforce a naming convention on my files. So the agreement became agreement.pdf, and my identity docs became the driving license and the passport. In addition to that, that automation also performed a bunch of validation checks using AI on these files. So if we go to this verification tab over here, you would see that the first thing that automation did was, it recognized what are the different files have been created, and it extracted a few details from the files, for example, the expiry date, the DL number, and then it created the line items over here. After that, it performed a bunch of verifications on this. So for example, for the driving license, it checked the expiry. For the passport, it checked the name and the expiry. For the contract, it checked a couple of things. It marked the documents as either approved or rejected, the verifications. And for the rejected ones, it has also given me a reason why exactly that document was rejected. And based on these statuses, it also updated the status on the document itself, whether the document has been approved or rejected. Other than this, one more thing that the automation did was, it created a receipt, an acknowledgement of receiving these documents. So this was automatically generated, and all the information that we extracted, so which all documents were received, what all verification checks we had done in the document, everything was consolidated and put into this acknowledgement of receipt letter, which is addressed to the customer, and it can be sent out with a single click through email. Now, how exactly was this automation done? So at Cloud Files, we provide a lot of components. We provide a lot of tools for you to build your own automations. For this particular automation, I just built out a couple of flows, and using those flows, we were able to perform everything that we have seen over here. Now, as I mentioned, we are not going to go into the tech details into how exactly that flow was built. Those can come later. You can always talk to our support team on that. But what I'm going to focus on is how you can utilize this particular these automations and these components to build your own custom workflows. So just let me go back to the presentation. Now, so as I mentioned, the automation that we saw over here. So we saw the management part where the automatic folders were created. We saw some organization of files and renaming of files. We saw some AI extracting information, performing verification checks. And then we also saw document generation, creating formatted and on-brand documents. Now, let's talk about the management piece first. So, whatever you saw over here, that is just one example of what you can do with Cloud Files. However, using those components, you can create pretty much any type of process. For example, while I had used SharePoint for as my backend storage, you can even use Google Drive, and you can even use Amazon. AWS S3, if you know, does not provide the folder of the concept of folders. However, we have built a layer on top of it through which you can do folder structures even in AWS S3 and run all of these automations. In addition to that, the folder structure that I had created, it's completely customizable. So you can create as deep a hierarchy you need, as nested a hierarchy you need. So any type of a custom logic in your folder structure can be implemented. The one that I had with one folder and 4 subfolders, it's just for an example. Additionally, the moving of files that we had done. So there is again no opinionated moving, no hard-coded moving. It's completely customizable. So you can move the files based on the name, based on the type of the file, whether it's a PDF or a PPT, or based on the content of the file. And that is exactly what we had done. We had identified whether it's a passport and a deal and a contract, and we moved them into particular subfolders. And then those subfolders also, it can be completely custom. So wherever you need those files to move, you can do that using you can customize that in the automation. And lastly, another thing that you can do using automation, which I had not really showcased in the demo, is whenever these files are uploaded, you can optionally create some records in Salesforce, and those records can enable you to search for these files globally inside of Salesforce itself, or run some sort of reports and dashboards on top of your Salesforce. So coming to the processing piece, the AI piece. So what we saw earlier was just a basic extraction and validation. So this extraction, while I had just extracted the number and the expiry date, you can pretty much extract anything. May it be checkboxes, you can interpret images, you can check for signatures. In fact, we had done a verification check for a signature as well. These validations, you can run any type of validations, and to run that validation checklist, all you need to do is just create a list of prompts in natural language. On top of this, you can do other things with AI. So you can do comparison of documents. And now I'm not really talking about the traditional diff-based comparison where you have one PDF and another version of the PDF, and you are just diffing for what exactly which words are different between those. You can actually compare different formats of files. So you have an Excel file, you have a PDF, and you have a PPT. You can look for certain items inside of those, and you can compare whether the information is matching across the files or not. And as you know, AI, it's growing. It has a lot of possibilities. So we are not really limited to these. You can summarize your documents. You can classify your documents. In fact, that is something that we did. We classified the documents as passport and DL. You can split the documents. You can consolidate information inside the document and ask AI to give an intelligent output. For example, you can ask AI to check for 2 or 3 different things inside a document, and then based on some sort of logic, you can have AI give you any answer out of that. So intelligence is of course a very key aspect of document AI. And then there are many more possibilities that even we are still discovering. Our customers bring in a lot of those. So if you have any of the possibilities, would love to know those. By the way, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to put it in the Q&A chat, and we are going to address that at the end. Now coming to the generation piece, so we saw a very basic form of generation where we created a little table and a one-page PDF. However, again, our document generation is not really limited to that. You can have any format of the document, so it supports Excels, PPTs, any format for that matter. We are also soon releasing support for Google format, so you can have Google Docs and Google Slides generate from your from your Salesforce. You can also have any styling. So since all of our document generation, the template creation of the document generation piece is inside of these Microsoft tools or the Google tools. So whatever formatting or whatever styling you are doing in those documents, those exact styles are going to be followed in the final generated document as well. So pretty customizable as far as the output and as far as the input is concerned. You can store these documents anywhere. So while I had moved that document into a SharePoint folder, you can have that document stored inside Salesforce itself. You can have it inside one of the subfolders, or you can even have transient documents where once the document is generated, we open it in an editable format and someone checks it, approves it, makes minor edits into it, and then clicks a button, and only then the document gets stored, and it can go perhaps for approvals. Finally, we also the triggering mechanism. So the triggering mechanism that we had used over here was whenever these documents are uploaded, then if all the documents are uploaded, then only create that receipt. But you can have any type of trigger for your custom workflow. So for example, we had the automation based trigger where single click and everything gets generated, but you can also have button based trigger. So you can have a button on your Salesforce records which actually triggers this document generation. Or one of my favorites is custom screen flow. So you can build your own screen flow. You can have your own inputs over there. So you are not limited to whatever is there in the record. You can have user provide inputs at runtime. And more than that, so one of the very unique features of Cloud Files and one of the features that our customer loves, our document generation customer loves, is runtime variables. So what we enable is you can perform calculations based on whatever is there in your record, and the result of that calculation can go to the document. So you don't need to store everything on your record. You can generate data on runtime as well. Now, given all of these customizations, so our customers have built some very interesting processes. So these are, some of the best use cases that we have addressed so far. Very complex use cases, but since Cloud Files is so customizable, you can use those components in any way that you want. So we have a lot of healthcare companies who are using us. They use these medical intake forms. What happens is these medical intake forms, they get emailed to them, and they use the standard Salesforce functionality of email to case. So anytime a document comes to them, an intake form comes to them, it gets transferred into Salesforce automatically in that notes and attachments section. But after that, Cloud Files takes over. Cloud Files reads the entire document. It extracts almost 300 fields in the document. So this is something that our client, it took them about 2 to 3 hours to do this per document. You can perform any number of validations. So this particular client, after extracting these fields, they perform a list of 20 validations. And as I said, it was taking them 2 hours, but with the Cloud Files process, it's now taking them 2 minutes. So there's almost a 99% or 98% time saving that they are seeing using in this particular use case. We also have a lot of technology companies that use us, and usually in technology companies, sales processes are very, very complex. So these guys have a very complicated folder structure, how they want to associate these folders to opportunities and accounts and different records. They use the Cloud Files' customization capabilities to create these complex processes. And then I'd also talked about these reporting and dashboarding. So whenever files are uploaded by their sales team, they create those records in Salesforce. They store some metadata in those records, and using these records in the metadata, they have created a lot of different reports. So now their upper management has exact visibility that which opportunities have proposals uploaded to them or contracts uploaded to them. They don't need to rely on the sales team telling them, or even the sales team doing data entry. All that the sales team needs to do is take the document and upload it into SharePoint. That's it. And after that, Cloud Files takes over. Finally, we also have a lot of government agencies that work with us. One of the government agencies, they were using another software before this, and they had 100 different templates. Why did they have 100 different templates? It's because they needed to maintain all of that information first of all in the record itself, and they did not really have any way to differentiate. So basically, to perform calculations while they were generating the document. So going back to the feature that I had mentioned about runtime variables, so they use that feature, and now instead of 100, they just have 10 templates. They perform all of their logic, all of their calculations in the flow itself. And finally, using those logic and calculations, they select which of the 10 templates they want, and then they just generate the documents. And on top of that, they have also created one-click emailing. So as soon as a document is generated, a screen flow triggers. It shows them, some of the email components, some of the email messages that they need to send. They just make a quick selections over there, click a button, and the email goes out with the generated document. So these use cases. Again, they cover the different products that we have: the document management, generation, and the AI product. And people are using multiple of these products to basically automate pretty much any conceivable process that they have. So this was pretty much it about the presentation. As I mentioned, that it's gonna be a short one. Mainly, what I wanted to showcase was the various capabilities the Cloud Files have, the various points that it touches. In case you want to get in touch with us, in case you want to talk more, feel free to book a demo over here. And let me just go to some of the questions that we have. All right. So one of the questions we have is regarding the whether the automation works with Google Drive or not. So yes, it does. I have used SharePoint, but the exact same thing, exact same capabilities are available in Google Drive, Amazon. We also support Azure. We support OneDrive. We also support Dropbox and Box. But most of our customers, almost 90 to 95% of our customers, are using either SharePoint or Google Drive. So Google Drive is actually a pretty big use case for us. Uh, Another question we have is regarding the AI model. So we don't use a single AI model. We actually use a soup of a lot of different models. All of these are privately hosted models. We don't use your information to train our models in any way. So there's no worries about data privacy. And then we also have a lot of compliances around these models as well. And all right, so yeah, that's it for the questions. If there's anything else, we'll just wait here for a couple of minutes if anyone wants to ask anything. But that's pretty much it about the presentation. We are going to send out a recording of this afterwards to everyone. And if you guys want to reach out to us, if you guys want to, oh, by the way, there is one question about pricing as well. So for the pricing, you will need to talk to our sales team. The pricing depends on the type of complexity you have, the type of use case you have, and also the number of users, or rather the volume of automations that you are running. So we'll be sending out a link after this if you want to book a call with our sales team. If you want to talk about implementation details, you are definitely free to talk to our support team as well. All right, so I think that's pretty much it from our side. And thanks all for joining in. Thank you.